What is going on, YouTube, y'all squad? This is your boy Yakatiz. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Miami, season what's this 5, episode 2. So we start off with Alexia. She's with her son Frankie. She's pretty much going to have a wedding celebration instead of a wedding. So pretty much just a big party. She didn't want to redo the vows or anything like that, which is cool, understandable. Um, And Alexia is being shady in her interview, pretty much comparing her current wedding planner to Gertie. And I mean it's somewhat tongue in cheek, but obviously this is going to be something that's going to be addressed when the reunion gets here. And I can't. And initially I was upset that she did it, but then at the same exact time Gertie did it later in the episode, so I can't be too bad. Just saying. Um, and Alexia is happy to actually, celebrate, this milestone given all the hiccups that happened last year. So she's real happy. I'm happy for her. We get Julia. She has a new farm. Adriana shows up. It's 2.6 acres. The new farm is her replacement, in essence, for her being an empty nester. So this is a way for her to fill that void. Her farm, it pretty much doubles as a business, which does make sense because from what we see, she has a lot of chickens, and they're at the point to where they are laying eggs. So she's actually taking those eggs and selling them, and they're pretty much free range, organic, all that good jazz. And she's selling like $5 a carton and whatnot. So using that to supplement, but even though she sold her old farm, everything isn't breaking even just yet. Hopefully, she can make that thing work. We find out that Martina is very weary about this because Julie is gone first thing in the morning, arrives late. But then we also hear that Julia says that Martina, is traveling a lot. So it's a lot of growing pains, and we're going to see how those two migrate this little rough patch that they're obviously having. So we have Lisa, Gertie, and Alexia. They meet up for drinks. Lisa says, Lenny is working out a lot and he's still managing. I'm sorry, he's working a lot, but still is managing to work out. And the fact that she has said this again this episode, she said last episode, it's one of those things where we know what happened, so we don't have to tiptoe around it, the whole divorce and everything. But it's like she saw the writings on the wall. It's obvious she saw the writings on the wall. Just used to be oblivious. Because it's not to say that if a man just starts working out, like obviously it's something else. But if you know that he has never been that much into his appearance, and now all of a sudden it's a complete 180, and not just working out just to be healthy, but it's something else. And there's been tension with them, in prior seasons and whatnot. So yeah. Lisa is also upset that Larsa insulted her when all she did was insult the building. And one thing I don't like that Lisa does is don't try to minimize somebody else's, like something else, to make what you're saying any different. The reality is you took a shot at her. Now, it wasn't at her directly, it was the building, but again, that's an accomplishment for her. And I'll talk about Lars a little bit later, but you shot off first. So for every action, there's an equal and greater reaction. So you shot off, you got what you got from Larsa. And sorry, what Larsa said, it stuck. Look, it stuck like grits. Deal with it. Or just don't be friends with her. Anyway, so Alexia talks about her party and Gertie being booked that day. And Gertie's just like, it is what it is, but I'm going to try to make it there, which we know she's going to make it there because, again, cast event, people trying to get paid, right? And Gertie tells Alexia, that she was hurt by her comparing, these events and, them being different. And Alexia's thing is, well, I was comparing the events, but the aesthetics. And I'm sorry, I have to side with Gertie. Where okay, you're upset about a bachelorette party not looking a certain way. Like, no, I don't know. I'm gonna just let it go, let it be. Let me see. And Alexia thought that the tension that she was getting from Gertie was because now Gertie's being featured in magazines and whatnot, and I guess she felt that Gertie was feeling herself too much. And I'm looking like, Alexia, don't stop lying. You know that is not it, but okay, if that's what you want to go with, cool. And then at the same exact time, we're getting this scene. We also see Larsa and Kiki conversating. All we get from that is Lisa unfollowed Kiki on social media, and Larsa says pretty much she matches energy, and that she's petty pimping. I ain't got a problem with that because I'm petty too. Again, we're gonna get to Larsa a little bit later. So now we get Nicole, which was a interesting scene. She's with her nanny and her mama. I think her name is pronounced Sorrel. If it's not, because I'm either gonna call her Sorrel or Mama Nicole. I'm just call her Sorrel. So it's them and her son, but the son really isn't integral in this particular conversation. And Nicole talks to her mom about her mom possibly dating, but she possibly get back with her father. Since they're cool now, and they talk every day, this, that, and the third. And Sorrel's just like, no, we're just friends. But then says to Nicole that she needs to try to make it work again with her father. And that right there threw me like, she needs to make it work again. Why? Because the years going back. See, look, y'all, I done already told y'all how I feel about some of these dynamics. And when we talk and when we get with certain generations, y'all not going to like what I'm going to have to say about Sorrel by the time I get to the end of the scene. And that's cool. We can agree, disagree. I don't want to jump ahead. And then says you have to learn to accept people for who they are. And she's right. You do. Like, it's the whole thing. If it walks like a duck and quack like a duck, it's a duck. But here's the reality. If I don't like the way that a duck sounds and it's annoying to me, I don't want that duck in my space. If I don't like the way that duck tastes, I'm not going to eat it. So I can accept you for who you are, but you ain't got to be in my space. I'm just saying, like, whew. So Nicole asks her mom if she thinks that, she's too hard on the people around her. And her mom says, yes, how many times have, I gone home crying because you want things to be perfect. And says, we're not perfect. I sometimes, drive home crying because of the way that you treat me. You're a tough cookie. Why? Now, we don't get specifics. So it's really hard for me to dig into this, but both of them were tearing up, and Nicole actually cried, and like it was and this is one of those, like, I appreciate it because it's a real moment. Like, it ain't nothing fake about this. I appreciate it, and I really hope we can get more, personal scenes with the girls rather than just group conflict. But Nicole responds and pretty much says, like, whatever standard I'm holding y'all to, I'll hold myself to that same exact standard. And then her mom tells her, sometimes you're mean to me. You're like your dad. You have no filter. Now, that right there was loaded. Because her saying, you're mean to me. You don't, unless, again, there's editing involved. But we didn't get any specifics. Because I would have been like, how am I mean to you? Please provide me with examples so we can go ahead and get this cleared and aired out. Because, no. And then says, you're just like your dad. Her mom knew what she was doing when she said that. Because, again, Nicole and her father have a very rocky relationship. So the fact that she's now being compared to her father, when I tell you, saw it all on Nicole's face. And I sat there and I'm like, see, I know what this is. Her mother is intentionally trying to manipulate her and literally trying to break her down. I'm like, ooh, I did not like that. Again, y'all might think I'm reaching, but trust me when I say I know. And says, you have no filter. And look, hey, it is what it is. Some of us ain't got filters. You feel me? But let me, okay, hold on. Let me finish this off. So then Nicole says, she's not perfect. Asks, is it a Virgo thing? And says, I don't know why I'm so crazy. And my thing is, this was the mom's attempt to control and manipulate her. Her mother pretty much is saying, I need you to change. Okay? I need you to change. But you need to accept your father and myself for who we are. I say, I was about to say something else, but no, that's not how this works. And it's very upsetting and it's very insulting. And this is something that you see from the boomers. I'ma just say it, that's what you see from them, because I'm more than sure her parents are baby boomers. And it's the whole thing of they don't need to be held accountable, but want to hold you accountable. Oh no, you need to accept us for who we are, but you need to be the one to check. Dr. Nicole, baby, I love you, but anyway, now we get Gertie. After being named the best party planner by Vogue, she has been busy and she has a problem with saying no, which is understandable. I just hope that her not being able to say no and being away from the house all the time isn't a stressor on her marriage, because if I'm not mistaken, her husband as a firefighter, I believe she said in last season that he's 48 hours on, 48 hours off. So, a lot of that time away for the both of them, could be rocky, but I think they might have it. Gertie is concerned about, being photo in a bikini because, who was it? Didn't I write it down? I thought I wrote down the company. Did I not write the company? Hold on, y'all. See, look at me. I'm with my notes. Okay, I forget who it is. Oh, here it is. The Retreat magazine has booked her to do a photo shoot, and they want her on the cover and in the bikini. She feels away. Larsa drops by, and Gertie is happy because Larsa does her thing on OnlyFans. So if anybody will be able to help her, it will be Larsa. And even in this scene, we do see Larsa championing her, and it's a beautiful thing. And then Gertie even says like this is what support looks like, and pretty much in essence saying like take notes, Alexia. And so this is why I say I couldn't get mad at what Alexia said at the beginning of the episode, because Gertie did the same thing. So Gertie talks to Larsa about her meeting with Lisa and Alexia, and the consensus being that she goes too low. And Larsa says don't talk mess, and you won't get what you get. And here's the reality. Larsa is insecure and she's very sensitive. Just call a spade a spade. It just is what it is. And she's one of those sensitive people where she is always on the defense. So if you say anything, even if it's not meant to be something crazy, because again, I know people like that, their first instinct is let me hurt and let me get you back. I know people like that. And I mean, that's just how some people are. I'm not really a fan of it, but I understand it. And for Lisa, for Larsa, it's okay, let me say whatever I can to hurt you. I ain't mad at that because I'm like that too. The only thing is, that's not my first thing, because it's just like, now if we at war, oh yeah, I don't care. I'm going to just say whatever. But I get it. Larsa just needs to, figure herself out, get it together. So now we have Alexia's party. Gertie sends Alexia some flowers and a card, and Alexia just doesn't seem all, enthused and enthralled with it, because let her tell it. Of all the things she could have sent, you sent me flowers. I have a bowl full of flowers. How would she know that? So this is one of those where it just seems that Alexia wants to have a problem. And maybe she feeling herself. Maybe she feels that she the queen bee and all this other stuff, but I don't like it. Marisol is there. She shows up, and she's was crying on her way there because she knows how it is to not have a mom, at a wedding and whatnot, and then was thinking how Alexia may be feeling, even though she's already wedded, but probably wanted her mother to be there. Alexia shares how it would have been nice, but they go push through. And then, we see Peter show up with his girlfriend, Lauren. I wonder if this is the girlfriend. Y'all real? No, we're not doing it. Anyway, so Peter shows up, and Peter and Ty are in a better place. That's good. Lisa is there, is there without Lenny because of a nanny situation. So he has to stay with the kids. Now, you have Marisol, and I think this is because she doesn't have kids, making a very silly statement like you have a person that washes the car, mows the lawn, that does this, that does that. You can't have any of them watch your kids. No, she can't. Because you don't know how they are when it comes to kids. Like, they may be good at whatever they do, but they may not be suitable to watch somebody's child. You never know. They might not even be nice to your child. They might, do things to your child that is very inappropriate. So you can't just leave anybody with your kids. I will say it is a little interesting that you don't, because again, in life, I have learned from the military a PACE plan, a primary, alternate, contingency, and an emergency. So in a situation like this, you have your primary nanny, but you don't have an alternate. You don't have a third person or a fourth person. But Lenny go stay with the kids. Lenny go stay with the kids. And then knowing what we know that's gonna come through, so Lenny really want to stay with the kids. Anyway, so Lisa pulls Larsa to the side and she tells her that she was hurt because of things that she said. Larsa says she spoke facts. So Larsa's not backing down. And then they begin to argue over whether or not Lisa has a mortgage. And Larsa says, it's public knowledge. Do you want to know? And Lisa says no. And that right there is very interesting to me. Because if it's not true, because she even called Lenny and Lenny said we don't have any mortgages. But if it ain't true, I would have been like, yes, please show me public knowledge. Please show me. And then if there is something, let me go ahead and let me figure this thing out. Let me talk to my people because that's obviously a mistake. But the fact that you don't want to see it means there probably is something there. Because Larsa even said there may be more that you don't know about. And I think, because look, I think Larsa knew some stuff. Because I think what Larsa was trying to say is, oh, there's a mortgage in Lenny's name. It might not be that house. I think that's what she was probably trying to say, but I don't know. Where am I? I done lost my spot in my notes. Where am I? So then Lisa says, not everything on the internet is true. Is it true that you stole someone's husband? Now, it's clear that Lisa was doing some homework. It's just you should have had some stuff already prepared before you came into this season because, again, Larsa was sitting on ready. Look, as much as I don't like Larsa got something for everybody. So you come at Larsa, and if she knows who you are, she got something for you. She got something waiting for you. So I ain't mad at her, but she should have been did your homework. Larsa says no, and she doesn't want to have an issue with her. And the fact that she shot her down and wanted to shift the topic, you stole somebody's husband, Larsa. Lisa says, don't come for my family or my finances. Larsa says, don't come for what I work for. Lisa replies, it's a joke. See, you can't do that because even though, yes, truly it was a joke, but it was so shady and you knew in the moment when you said it, ooh, this ain't going to play out right. And then you get mad when Larsa says, okay, what I said is a joke, even though we do know that Larsa, she don't really go to hell, let's be honest. She just goes low. She don't take it to hell. But she goes low, and then when it's, I was just joking. Like, okay, whatever. And again, if y'all know this is how Larsa operates, why feed into it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know what the trick is, just don't fall for the trick. So, and then Lisa says, you need to lighten up. You can't sit here and be wrong by somebody, baby, and tell them how to react, when to get over it. You need to lighten up because, again, Larsa can say the same thing. Again, in essence, these two are really just talking around in circles. And Gertie says something later, like at the very end of the episode, because we're pretty much at the end, where she says it has to be something else that is making Lisa go off the way that she's going off. It's not just this rumor. There has to be something else. And she's obviously aware of something. And Larsa says, it's just jokes. Lisa says, no, you're being malicious and you're trying to hurt me. Lisa says what she said, like what she said compared to what Larsa said is different, where you're trying to sit here and put more weight on one than the other. To you, what you said may not be a big thing, but to her it is. So you can't sit here and, play her feelings to the left. That's not how this works. So obviously when you made that comment, you hurt her. And rather than because you could have easily explained like, this is what it is, but you know what? I am truly so sorry, this, that, and the third. My bad. I was being gossipy. I won't do it again. But that's not what you gave. And that's not what is given. So Larsa calls Lenny, downloads him, and then, she is walking around saying she needs to walk the plane. And then starts going there. People saying, is there a plane? Is there a plane? And it's like Lisa, you were trying to have a moment. It really fell flat. And you look real stupid. Like, for real, you look stupid. And Lisa is upset, but my thing is, Lisa, you chose to have this conversation at this party, where if you really wanted to talk to Larsa, y'all could have easily had an independent scene. But you chose this. So you created this. You got to deal with it, sweetheart. So her and Gertie go off to the side, which I feel this is probably going to be an issue in episode 3 because they weren't there for, the speeches and everything. But Gertie is trying to calm Lisa down, and she's upset at the mortgage thing. But I think Lisa was most upset at the comment of, you can't afford your lifestyle. Not Lenny, you can't afford your lifestyle. And I think that's what's hitting her with everything else. But y'all let me know how y'all feel. I'm finna go ahead and watch episode 3, and I shall return. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all back here for episode 3. Peace.